So I'm finally back from a pretty rough injury and some much needed but forced time off. So in this episode, I'm going to catch you up on what happened, what it taught me, and how it's changing the way that I work and live. And I'm going to talk rest, perspective, and getting out of the weeds because this is my first official recording back from my injury. And it's been really hard. It's been really hard to get back to just normal in general for most things, let alone podcasting. If I'm being completely honest, I did question whether or not I wanted to continue doing this. And thankfully, I have a really great team that is helping support me through this. And, we kind of used some old episodes that we had on the back burner and we did a rerun of an episode. It just bought me some time until I could get my shit together to get back on the mic. But when I say it was a struggle to get back here and to get started again, like I am not exaggerating. Like I have a really hard time starting things. And this happened once before where I got like a couple episodes ahead and I was like, yeah, I'm just going to record once a month and record like a bunch of episodes all at once. And quickly realized that doesn't work for me. I need that constant routine because it's really hard for me to get started again. So after this injury, taking 3 weeks off, and I guess it's probably been 5 weeks since I recorded. This was hard. It was hard to get here today and do this, especially I just came back from Massachusetts yesterday and I came into this morning and I was like, I have got to get this shit done. I need to rip off this Band-Aid and just fucking do it. It might suck. Who fucking cares? Just get it over with, get it out there, just get on with it. So here I am. I'm back. So if you're following me on social media, you may have seen, but if not, let me just fill you in on what happened. So on my booking day at 1:00 in the morning, so like the night before, 1:00 in the morning, I got up for some water and I really don't remember anything other than getting up for water and feeling dizzy and thinking I need to get back to bed. And so I passed out on the top of the stairs. When I say stairs, it's like 6 steps. It's not like a full flight of stairs, but I passed out on the top of the stairs and fell, hit my head on the tile, fractured my temporal bone, dislocated the bones in my left ear, gave myself a concussion, had a seizure. It was a whole thing, had to go to the hospital. I lost about 10 hours of that day. I don't remember anything, which is real weird. Being someone who has been like blackout drunk before, at least with that, like the next day, you don't remember shit. People are like telling you stuff. You kind of have like a fuzzy, like kind of memory of it. This, like nothing. There's zero memories. I've asked the same questions like 1,000 times, like asking what happened and what did they say at the hospital and like, getting the answers, but none of it makes sense because I just don't remember. It's the weirdest feeling and it's super uncomfortable. But so that happened on my booking day. And I just want to say that this had zero to do with how hard I was working or what I had going on or being stressed out or anything like that. And when I when I tell everybody like what happened, that's the first fucking reaction is like, you really need to take a break. You're working too hard. Like, see, you need to rest. And honestly, fucking pissing me off because I've been working on this. Like, I've been working really hard on not working really hard. And I was actually doing really great. And I get angry about it because I'm like, that's not why. That's not why I passed out. It passed out because I suck at drinking water and I get dehydrated and I have very low blood pressure. If I move too quickly, I get lightheaded, I pass out. It's a thing that's been happening. And I definitely need to get checked out. And a lot of people tell me I probably have POTS. I don't know. We're working on it. I have to see a million doctors for all this, but it's not because it was working. It was not because I was working too hard. It's not that. So shut up, fuck you. It's not that. I do need to take care of myself better by staying hydrated, drinking water, like paying attention to those things. That is an actual problem. So anyway, I just had to get that out of the way before you fucking say anything. Don't come for me about that shit. So at the time it was my booking day. So I wasn't even stressed. I wasn't feeling overwhelmed. I was training someone new to help me with booking day, but other than that, like it was running very smoothly. I created a system for it. So I had my checklist, I had everything done, everything was ready to go. All I had to do was at 8 a.m. is publish the website and turn on my booking form. Literally, that was it. There's no stress involved. Like, so I know that it wasn't that. But I did have a lot of projects going on, and a lot of them that were started and not finished, and just generally like a million tabs open. I needed to hire an assistant. So I was like feeling the pressure of needing to hire an assistant. It was trying to like get things ready and get myself situated to do that sort of thing, but was not able to find the time. So having this forced time off was honestly like a blessing in disguise, which it usually ends up being, but it's really hard for me to take time off. It really is. Even when it even when I do choose to take time off, it's almost like I don't want to. I mean, and the more I think about this, I just was listening to a podcast by from Layla Hormozy, my new spirit animal. But she was talking about how she works really hard, and everyone's like, "Oh, you need to relax. You need to take a break." When she's like, "I don't want to." Like, why is that? Why is that a bad thing? Why does everybody think of it as a bad thing that you want to work, that you like working, that you like what you do? Why why are we valuing what other people say is right for us? Like I don't know. Like she's kind of changing the way that I think about that, because everybody's always like pressuring me to slow down and take a break and relax, and like I don't want to, because I fucking like working. I don't know. I like being busy. I like being useful. I like having a purpose. So I may really start rethinking that and stop trying to fucking shame myself for enjoying work. Anyway, it's hard for me to take time off. Is what I'm getting at. It's even harder for me when it's not my choice. So taking time off when I'm like planning it is like one thing, but when someone says you can't work, you got to sit there and do nothing. Don't look at your phone, don't watch TV, don't fucking listen to any like loud music or do anything that requires any kind of concentration. Absolute fucking torture for me. This is the second time now that I've had a concussion, and the first time it took 3 months for me to heal because I wasn't able to rest my brain. And I did learn from that experience, so I really didn't want to do that to myself again. My kids were very little. They were like 3 and 4 years old last time. I was a single mom. I was, trying to work, pay my bills. Like I was like, I can't fucking take time off of work. They're like, don't do anything that requires concentration. I'm like, oh, you mean like my whole job? Cool. Got it. So I did not listen, and I did what I could, and it ended up taking me 3 months to heal. So I was like, all right, I'm not fucking doing that. I'm going to take my time and listen to my body and like go back to work when it tells me it's okay. But in the meantime, I had to fucking sit there and stare at the wall and stare at the ceiling and like lose my goddamn mind. That is not a comfortable place for me to be, just sitting still and sitting with my thoughts and just spiraling the fuck out. So I was crawling out of my skin a little bit for at least the first week, and I had booking day. So I had all these people like all these forms coming in for like appointment requests that I had to deal with eventually. And normally I would have booking day on Sunday. On Monday, I message everybody, get it all done, knocked out in one day. And I was not able to do that on Monday. I think I want to say I started messaging people like, I don't know, 4 days in, and I would have to do it in small chunks. So I would like message a bunch of people, get them scheduled, and then I'd have to like go take a nap. But I just wanted to get it done. I was like, it was like kind of hanging over me and like stressing me out. And in retrospect, should have just fucking waited, because I created way more problems for myself by doing that. But a week later, I was like, like, yeah, I'm feeling good. Like, I don't need to take naps anymore. I honestly, like, I don't think my concussion is as bad as it was last time. I think I'm good. And I decided to go back to work that following. So it was probably about a week and a half later. It was on a Wednesday. And I was like, I really want to do this tattoo for this lady because it's her birthday, first of all. And the tattoo was for her mom. And it was like a memorial tattoo. It was a Land Before Time, like the little tree star tattoo. And I loved the idea of that. It was so sweet. And I was like, I really want to, like, this one, it's only like a couple hours. I think I'll be fine. Was not fine. Was not fine at all. I made it through the tattoo. The tattoo came out great. Actually, like, blew up on TikTok. It's still blowing up on TikTok. It's awesome. So, the tattoo gods rewarded me for that. But it was a struggle. I had a very fucking hard time with that, and probably should not have gone to work. But I think that did end up setting me back and making my recovery time a lot longer because I did that. So that was fucking stupid. I don't recommend that. But I eventually, surrendered to the concussion and ended up taking a total of 3 weeks off of work. And it was torture. I had to figure out things to do to occupy my mind because my mind's just like a million miles an hour, concussion or not. That's not going to stop. And if I'm not able to do stuff to like occupy my mind, I will go insane. So I ended up actually getting some clay because for whatever reason, the clay didn't bother me. It didn't give me a headache or anything. And I sat there and I would like sculpt. I sculpted these these little dog heads every year for the Christmas season. I paint ornaments, like I paint people's pets on ornaments for them. And so I've had this idea for years. I'm like, now's the fucking time. What else am I going to do? So I've had this idea of doing like these little 3D dog heads and cat heads and then just paint them the colors of their pets. So I have all the shit. I have like the clay, I have the molding stuff. Like I have everything to do it. I've had it for years and, just being a craft hoarder as usual and never doing anything with it. So I sat there and did those. I think I probably got 9 different dog head shapes done. But just like trying to stay busy and just get things done. And so I slowly was trickling work stuff in with that, but it did, every time I had to look at my computer for any length of time, it was giving me a horrible headache, and so I would have to stop. So yeah, it was torturous, but there were a lot of really good things, surprisingly, that came out of this, and very unexpected things, honestly. And one of them is just like being super grateful for that time. And as much as in the beginning, I was like hating it and pissed off that I had to stay home and like, skin crawling, couldn't stand having to sit still. What I realized was like, I'm getting extra time with my family, with my kids, with my husband, with my dog that I don't normally get. And I decided to take advantage of that and not let that time just kind of slip away. And during all this time, we thought we were going to have to put my dog down again. Like this just happened in May and he made this like miraculous recovery. And then he started to go downhill again. And so I had these 3 weeks where I just hung out with my dog all day. Like he just was right by my side. We did everything together. He followed me around and like we had this awesome time together. And he, towards the end, like thought we were going to have to put him down again. This is a whole other rant for another day, but he's not dying. Our vet just fucking sucked and told us that he probably had cancer and wouldn't do anything else to validate that. And we found out that it is actually a swollen salivary gland and he's not going to fucking die. Imagine for a minute, your vet says, go ahead and pick a date to put your dog down. It's just going to be easier that way. Imagine if I fucking did that. Okay. End rant. We didn't do that because we were like, he's fine. We're not going to do this until it's time. So anyway, had we had to put him down, I would have gotten all this extra time with my dog. And even though we didn't have to put him down, I'm still grateful that I got to hang out with him because he probably only has like maybe a couple of years left. So had all this extra time with my dog, got to spend time with my kids. It was my daughter's birthday over that break. I threw her a really cool like sleepover party for her birthday. I got to go to all of my son's football games, even though I had to like wear earplugs and like headphones and sunglasses at night. Like I looked like a psychopath, but I was able to be there for all of his games. I got to like have breakfasts and dinners with my kids and spend time with my husband that wasn't like rushed, and actually get past our to-do list at the house and actually have like we had some at-home dates, and we started watching a new show together, and I had time to read, which I've been trying to finish this book. I've been like hate reading it because everybody's like, oh, you got to read this book, it's so good, blah, 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 whatever. And it's on my list, and I can't stand to see it on my list. I need to get it off. Like I need to just like read it, done, did the thing. And I didn't want to cheat my way through it. I wanted to actually read it, but God, I fucking hated this book. Is it wrong to say the name of the book? Is it like, fuck it, whatever. It's my podcast. I'll do what I want. So the what is it called? The 7 Habits of Highly Efficient People. Highly overrated in my opinion, but maybe it's because I read so many books of people that have read that book. Nothing in it seemed like a new thought or any kind of like a mind-blowing idea. I don't know, but I couldn't stand the way the guy wrote. It was boring as fuck. But I fucking hated my way through it, and I finished it so that I could move on to bigger and better things. So got that out of the way. So there are things that I'm like grateful for, during this time, and I expected to just be miserable the whole time, but I eventually like let go of it and was like, okay, this is my life now, and just moved on. And I made some pretty big moves during that time too. So I had all of this time to do the things that I never have time to do, right? So I finished writing my seminar, which I've been trying to write for like a year, and I finished it finally. And I also finished my online course, which I've also been trying to figure out for a good year. That was a really big one for me. Those are things that were also just kind of like hanging over my head and that have been on my mind, and I've just keep backburnering, like I'll get to it someday, and never having the time to actually do it. And I just plugged away at it because I had all fucking day for 3 weeks to do it. So got those done, and that was a really great feeling. I also hired a new assistant. So I ended up interviewing, I want to say 15 to 20 people. It was a lot. And I feel like if I would have been doing the interviewing and running the business and tattooing, there's no way I would have taken that amount of time to interview that many people. But I almost was using it as like this is gonna sound so fucked up, but I was almost using it as like a way to get experience with interviewing people, because I only ever interview when I need to hire somebody, and I only want to interview the people that I really think are a good fit. And that only ends up being a handful of people usually. So I was like, I'm going to just interview like as many of these people that I think might be a good fit, or like their application wasn't perfect, but maybe, I don't know, maybe there's something that I'm missing. So let me just interview them anyway. I have the time. Fuck it. So yeah, I interviewed a lot of people, and I ended up getting a badass assistant. And actually, I already knew her. It was funny. I was like, why do I know you? Why do you sound familiar? And she's like, well, we used to play roller derby together. And I was like, whoops. But being on the all-star team, I didn't really know a lot of the people on the other team. So it was like, I'm not going to learn your name because you're probably going to quit soon, like kind of thing. So, but I mean, our practices didn't overlap. So, but I did feel that. I was like, oh shit. Okay. But I did recognize her. So after she said that, I realized, oh my God, this girl helped me years ago, like a decade ago, build a website. Like my very first website, like my Tattoos by Missy Blue website. She came down and helped me for free, like just did it just because she wanted to help. And so she kind of already auditioned for the part then, it was kind of cool. So She's a badass. I'm super excited to have her. The only reason I had to replace my last assistant is that she was getting a full-time job somewhere else, and I don't have full-time hours for her. So understandable, good terms. Like she was a badass too, and was sad to see her go, but really excited for the new assistant. So I had the time to do that. That was awesome. So I got that done. I was able to create a whole bunch of new systems because I'm trying to get ready for training her to bring her in. So I was like, might as well, document all the stuff that we do while I have the time. I got all of those ornaments done, and I possibly secured a location for my tattoo Airbnb, another thing that has been on my mind for a really long time. So I've been wanting a place for my like out of state clients to stay, and like my guest artists to stay whenever they're in town. And the big dream was to buy a building closer to home to do that. And that dream doesn't really make sense anymore, because the whole reason to do that was to be closer to my kids. By the time I'm actually ready to do that, my kids are going to be graduated. It's not going to fucking matter. It doesn't make any sense anymore. So the space opened up next door to the shop. And so I asked the landlord if he would mind if I did that. He's cool with it. He's actually excited about it. That he doesn't have to try and find a new tenant that's going to be a piece of shit. I already know that he's an amazing landlord. I don't have to pay for maintenance and like repairs and shit because I don't own the building. Like, this kind of fucking works out. So I'm really excited about that. I'm going to be talking to him later this week to go over more details, but this this is like a huge thing. It's so funny. I like hired my assistant, and I was like, yeah, here's my big goals. Like, I eventually want to do this, this, and this. And literally like a week later, I was like, by the way, we're doing that now. Like, that quick. I'm going to need you to do an analysis, for a profit analysis for the Airbnb, so I can make sure this makes sense. And she's just like, oh, okay. So things are moving quickly. But yeah, so all these great things happened just because I had the time to invest in things that I normally wouldn't have. And some of the things that I came to realize while I was out is like, my clients are way cooler than I give them credit for. So having to reschedule 3 weeks of appointments, I was dreading talking to these people. I was dreading telling them, first of all, I just fucking booked myself out until February, which is stupid. I should have waited to see how much time I was going to take off from the injury before I did booking day, because I had to move 3 weeks of appointments. Like, my life would have been so much better if I just waited, but no, I couldn't do it. So, but all of those people were so cool and so patient with me, and they were like, absolutely, like, whatever you need. And not one person fought me on it or, was angry or anything. And I really expected somebody just to be a dickhead about it, but not one of them was. So that was really cool. I also realized that I can work less and spend more time with my family without everything falling apart. So me being out all of that time, everything is fine. Nothing happened. I mean, things happened, but like nothing went so badly that it's irreversible. Nothing was so far out of control that I can't come back and fix it. Like nothing at all happened. So all the times that I'm stressing out, like I gotta work, I can't take time off, I can't, put this room in my schedule, I have to work 4 days, 5 days this week. It's not true. It's just not true. So I was able to really see that in the works, in action, and kind of understand a little better that it's actually possible. Another thing I realized is just how lucky I am that wasn't worse, like much worse. I just had someone recently telling me how their friend's wife died falling down the stairs. Like, they could have been so much fucking worse. And I also questioned, like, am I going to be able to tattoo? Because there were parts of the injury that really had me questioning, is this going to get better or is this permanent? So my vision in my left eye was completely blurred. Like my left eye was so fucked up because I guess from the swelling of the nerve or something like on that side of my face, it was affecting my vision. My face, like the muscles in my face weren't working. It wasn't like complete, like Bell's palsy, but it was like partial. And it was really fucking with my vision. It was fucking with my ability to focus on things, like mentally focus on things because it was exhausting for my eyes to try and like adjust to it. It affected how long I could work. And I had to just kind of accept that I might not get better and this might be forever. I'm still not sure about my hearing. I lost the hearing in my left ear, partially, and I'm not sure it's fixable. They think, I don't know. I see a surgeon this week to see if they can fix it. The bones are dislocated in my ear. I don't know if that's fixable. I might have to be, you know, partially deaf the rest of my life. It's whatever. I've come to terms with it now. It's annoying as fuck, but yeah, I'm grateful that I'm not dead. I'm grateful that it wasn't like a super traumatic brain injury that, caused way worse symptoms. But it definitely gave me a new appreciation for tattooing. I have a sign in the stencil area in the shop that says treat every tattoo like it's your last, and you can be sure that that's what I do from now on. I don't even know what the last tattoo I was before I fell. I kind of want to see, but like, imagine, like, you never know which tattoo is going to be your last. It's like a weird thing to think about. I'd like to know, like, people who've retired or been forced to retire, like what their last tattoo was. It's really kind of fucked up to think about, but I'm not taking it for granted anymore. I definitely did. Like I always said, I'm not going to take it for granted. I love tattooing, but I do. I still do. I have my moments where like, it's just, just going to work, doing the thing. So, not going to take that for granted now and have this like new appreciation for tattooing. I also have more of appreciation for singing because I love singing. I don't do it like in front of people or anything, but I can't sing because I can't hear, and it's really fucking with me. And it's just like I can sing, but it's not satisfying because I can't like tell what's happening. It's the most frustrating thing ever, and that's a really dumb, like petty thing to be upset about, but I miss singing. I miss the satisfaction I used to feel of singing. But I also realized that I really love the business side of things more than I thought or more than I expected. Because just like sitting there and doing all the bossy boss stuff and like getting shit done and actually handling that side of stuff, like I knew that I liked doing it, and I was doing it kind of part-time because tattooing was also like, my full-time job. But having just that being my full-time job, I was like, why do I actually like this? This is so backwards from everything that I've ever thought about myself. But surprise, I guess, I like the business side of things too. So what am I gonna do different going forward? Because got to learn something from the situation and, not repeat things and see what we can improve on, right? So I'm going to drink water, although don't look right now, I'm drinking caffeine, but I'm supposed to drink less caffeine, more water, working on that. But I am really making an effort to drink water because I can't be fucking passing out and falling down the stairs. It's just not really like, I don't have time for that shit. So, once I get caught up with everything though, I am going to move back into tattooing 3 days a week, which has been the goal for a long time. And I just keep putting it off. Like, I can't do that. I can't make that happen. And it's just not true because I proved that it's like I can work less and everything's fine. So I'm going to go back to tattooing 3 days a week. That'll allow me to really focus on those 3 pieces, because usually I do one big piece each day. Like I can really focus on those pieces and put everything into that. And the other days of the week, I can focus on business stuff and just that, and not have to feel this constant pull in both directions. And I want to spend more time planning and working on things that are going to get me closer to my goals, because it's so hard to pull yourself away. Like when you're too close to things and you're just like working on the wrong things. And this is something that I actively like have been trying to improve on, but I keep finding myself coming back to this situation where I'm like, what am I doing? I'm doing the wrong fucking things again. So trying to reset and like really think about that. So some of the things that I learned from this whole thing is that nothing is that serious. Like literally nothing is that serious. I used to put so much pressure on myself for everything. Like I just want everything to be perfect and everything to run smoothly and everything to just go the way that I want it to. And it's not going to, like, and I know that, like I've seen that over and over again, that nothing ever goes to plan, really. Like it's very rare that things go exactly how I want them to go. And I need to fucking lighten up and lose, try and let go of that control a little bit and stop taking everything so fucking seriously. And I need to spend more time working on my business and less time working in it. And I need to do less and focus more, which is like, I mean, it's the same thing as like being too, close to my goals and not like actually taking that step back to see things, but, do less, focus more. Like I'm trying to do too many fucking things. Why do I want to keep piling shit on my plate? Like fucking knock it off. And that I do have a limit and I need to pay attention to what that limit is. And, like trying to go back to work too soon and I fucking paid for it. So like I am not invincible. I sometimes like to think that I am and that I can handle anything that's thrown at me. And that's not true. I'm not a superhero. I'm just a normal fucking person that works too hard. And I need to just really listen to my body, to myself, and don't fucking push it, because there is a limit. And I don't want to find out the hard way, like where that limit is. So, and the other thing I learned is from that book that I read, that I finally finished, I did actually learn something from it. And it's kind of silly and it has honestly nothing to do with what the book is about whatsoever. But he said, you're never too busy driving to stop for gas. And I was like, oh, so meaning like taking care of yourself. Like you're never too busy driving to stop and refuel. So in the same respect, like in your life, in your business, and whatever, you have to stop and reset. You have to stop and refuel, and you have to stop and give yourself a break and a rest so that you can keep going. And for whatever reason, it being put to me like that, I was like, fuck, that's a valid point, because I don't put enough value on rest. I think a lot of times I'm like, I'll rest later when I have the time to rest, not when I need to rest. I need to take the time to rest before I need it and not find out the hard way that I need it. So yeah, for something that was kind of a horrible experience, I had a pretty weird and unexpected outcome, and I ended up feeling way less scattered at the end of everything, because I was able to take this step back from tattooing and I was able to get a lot done that just needed to get done for so long. And it was almost like I was too close to everything to see what I should have actually been focusing on and where my attention actually needed to be. And getting this new perspective on things gave me this space and time that I needed to analyze what's actually going on. And I was able to see all the things I've been putting on the back burner and things that needed to happen to get me closer to my goals and to get that ball rolling. So I'll be making sure I'm setting time aside in the future to do that more and pull myself away and get a different perspective on things and try to get that like 1,000-foot view of everything. When you're spending all of your time zoomed in and in the weeds, it's really hard to see what you should be focusing on, what's actually important and what isn't.